Jamon? Jamon?
Lindsay, hey mate.
Hello, are you just here to surprise us? Are you full of surprises today?
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to do this, but then I was on F1. I got like 7 invites, and then 3 people messaged me asking me if I was coming. So I was like, yeah, alright, I'll just join.
Okay, well, the stream is up, so... Alright. Welcome to round number 4 for Bahrain. We have a full grid, 20 drivers here today. We have J-Man joining me in the comms box. We'll get him into the lobby soon.
I'm
But,
already on.
wait, are you in?
Yeah, because I got invited like
Ah,
20 times.
okay. But yeah, we're here for round 4. The last race before the grid will probably have a bit of a change up because of the transfer window, and it is div to here at 2:30. There's a bit of a delay due to somebody not being available to send the invites out, but we are here and we're running, and as I said, full grid. How you feeling, J-Man?
Fantastic. It's good to see 20 drivers out here today. As qualifying has just begun here, and thoroughly looking forward to the results today. Hopefully we can see maybe a new driver win a race today and challenge the championship leader.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Vipamon on that 3-race win streak will be looking... Is he even racing? I can't even see him on the grid.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just blind. He is racing today, but I think the return of the original Golden Goose, because we've been calling a Vipamon the Golden Goose. We have Imanoob on the grid today.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bahrain is when he did it as well in one of his races in the first season.
Yeah, he actually won it for me in Div 1. He was on Dulz's account, his brother's account. He was reserving for me. Dulz had to actually go mid-race at Bahrain, and
Oh, yeah.
Noob got on his wheel and won the race for me. So he won 2 times that day. But now I'm going to move to Melbourne Mac as he's going through turn 1 on his first flying lap of qualifying. He's accidentally forgot to turn off his ERS, so that will cost him quite a bit of lap time here at Bahrain. But as he opens the DRS down the second straight, braking just after 100 metres for this tricky, undulating right-hander. There's a big bump in the middle. You don't want to let it unsettle the car. He doesn't. He doesn't quite use all the track, but it's just a banker lap, so I'm sure he'll improve later on. He just touches the inside curb to the right, to the left, on the outside curb. Don't go too far out wide, otherwise you will hook the car's floor and spin out. Now through that hairpin, he gets a pretty neat entry, gets a very, very nice exit, no squirreling from the car, and now tricky turn 10, one of the hardest corners on the calendar, easy to run wide. He absolutely nails it with just a little bit of understeer on the exit as he opens the DRS for the 3rd straight over the course of the lap. Now this tricky left-hander, you want to brake as late as you can, use the camber on the apex to hook the car in and carry a little bit more speed than you would otherwise. It's easy to understeer wide there, as now as he's gone through turn 12 and then turn 13, he's nailed that double right section. And now the run to the final corner, he's gone purple to the middle sector, obviously, because he's the first person to set a lap. And now rounding the final corner, taps the inside curb, gets on the power to the line. What's the lap time going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 30.4. I'm sure we'll see improvement later on. As we'll now go to Churchy getting ready to cross the line. Oh my god. Not Kizzy with a 29.3. He's flying.
That is a rapid time there early
And
on.
Gordo sets a 29.0. So it looks like
Yeah.
it will be competitive.
Good little spread in the field here. Gordo's a very, very quick driver, so he'll definitely be looking to be competitive as we see Milan go 5th fastest, but still plenty of time left in the qualifying. Just having a look at the championship standings at the moment. Melbourne Mac in 3rd, and he's a whole 51 points behind Vipamon in the championship, despite having pretty similar performances, so there's definitely a lot of ground to make up today for him.
Yeah, as Vipamon's just done a 29.1, so the battle for pole here, I think, could be interesting, as it looks like there's a couple of drivers on similar pace, so it should be interesting for the fight for pole. Because I
I'm just
think
having a
I'm a
look.
noob needs an
Yep.
invite, but I can't send him one because my thing's glitched.
I'll get onto that. If I even have him added, might not.
As we just seen Cozzy, I think he just had a little bit of a spin there in the Ferrari, so I was looking down at my phone, trying to sort out I'm a noob. I'll go to SNF Wolf as he is about to finish a lap in the McLaren. He does a 29.2, so another driver to add to the field spread here for the fight.
Yeah, it's good to see a good little. It's very close on the times here. Only 1.7 seconds separating first and 15th. So looks to be a very competitive Div 2 lobby today.
Yeah, obviously full grid, so turn one, lap one, maybe a little bit of a curveball, but I think it's very good to see that all the drivers showing up clearly excited to race in ORL, and I think that's good to see after obviously last season didn't have super amazing attendance. As who's on a lap right now? I think is Vipermont? No, I think he's on an in lap.
No one's on a lap at the moment.
Yep, so we just have to wait, but DX Bond is on an out lap, so we'll see another set of laps soon.
Oh, spin for Beast. I think he was on a lap, his second run, and he's just lost it through Sector 2 there. It wasn't a great, very competitive time, but he won't be too pleased with that on this occasion.
Yeah, definitely. As J-Man, you might need to add I'm a noob in a minute and invite him back to the lobby.
Not sure if I have him, but I'll have a look.
Yeah,
Is he on
he
PlayStation? Or,
changed to Steam, so you'll need to add him while you're in there as well. There's a couple of drivers now on out laps, so who's the closest to crossing the line on their out lap? Probably DX Bond. Yep, as he's going through turn 12. There's an Alfa Romeo spawn midway through turn 12 actually. It's obviously there's the death curb on the inside. If you touch that, the car's almost going to guaranteed spin. But now I'll go on board with DX Mond, and as he rounds the final corner to begin his lap now, he picks up the throttle, turns on the ERS, and he's underway down the long back straight with the run into turn 1 being super tricky and very, very heavy braking. As he brakes at the 100 meters, shifts down to gear 1, gets the rotation, taps the curb there. You kind of want to avoid it as it is a very big curb, but he just tanks it and the car deals with it. Maybe some soft suspension, and he gets on through the exit very nicely. As now the run up to turn 3, braking very, very late, taps the inside curb, picks up the throttle very nicely using all the track, just nicking the curb as that's a Haas in front of him, going quite slowly. I think he's being impeded. The Haas now finally dives out of the way, but that would have lost him a couple tenths as braking hard into the hairpin. The car complaining a little bit on the entry. You could see it didn't turn in as much as he'd want, and he runs a little bit wide through turn 10, proving tricky, as I said earlier, and he invalidates his lap and runs wide. So now I'm going to go to Gordo, who is just beginning his lap.
Melbourne Mac also on a good lap at the moment here, going through Sector 2.
Yeah, I'll go to him, then you can commentate.
So down the straight here, purple first sector for Melbourne Mac. He's 13th as it stands. Crucial last sector here. If he nails it, could bring himself back up to the top of the standings here, going through towards the end of Sector 3 here. It's looking pretty uncompetitive though, and I think he's pulled out of it. He did have a solid lap, but obviously made a mistake somewhere in Sector 2.
Yeah, and Gordo actually improving on his lap time right now. It looks like he might go into the 28s, which would be very, very good to see, as I have sent you a DM of Noob's new EA, by the way. So you should be able to add him. As Gordo, rounding the final corner, gets on the throttle, Uses all the track at his disposal. Will it be the first lap time in the 28s? Yes, he does a 28.8. Big improvement from Gordo. Let's see who will be able to match him later on in this qualifying session.
Very handy lap time there from Gordo there, and he's got some serious pace today. And I'm just having a look at Vipermon, who's starting his lap. He's going to be looking to make a reply to Gordo's lap time. He's got to make up 3/10, and he's made up a slight amount of time in the first sector there, not substantial enough to challenge for first at the moment, so he's going to have a really strong second sector here as he makes his way through the second sector here. McLaren close ahead, hopefully gets out of the way and does so. Solid little couple corners there from Vipermon as he makes his way down the back straight and turns in nicely, keeps it inside the track limits there. And now, let's see what lap time he can come up with. He's lost a little bit of time through the middle second sector there, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get ahead of Gordo unless he's got some incredible speed through this section. And as he comes to the final straight, we'll see what kind of time he can come up with. Can he get into the 128s? No, he's given up on it, and he's going to pit.
Yeah, as we also see SNF Wolf having a little spin out of the final corner there, showing off a little bit of a spin class. And hopefully Imanoob should be able to get out for a lap, as the deal is he has to use no assists in Div 2 if he wishes to race it, as otherwise he would be a bit too fast for it. So it should be interesting to see what he can achieve with no assists, or if he'll just be hanging around the midfield. So I do want to see him set a lap at some point in this qualifying session, but I think I'm going to move to Mr. Firestrike here in the house. Never mind, he's just ran wide at the hairpin. He'll back out of his lap. So now I'll go to Cozzy. No, he is invalidated and doesn't have enough ERS to set another competitive lap. So who can I go to now? Mr. Sparks. No, he invalidated. Frosty, I think, yeah, he's about to finish his lap, braking into the final corner through the right. Doesn't quite use all the track at his disposal, but he gets a clean exit, opens up the DRS to the line. 1 minute 29.7, so not a bad lap at all, putting him in the same position he was before P7.
And Zonix is on a flying lap as well at the moment, making his way through the second sector. He's currently in 12th. He'll be looking to crack into the 129s here. And laps looked alright so far, but he might need to make some big improvements through the final sector here as he runs wide. That is going to cost him there. We'll see if he can make up for it at all. Oh, gee, that's not looking too good at the moment, and that is going to be uncompetitive. He's 1.2 behind his previous best, unfortunately for him there.
Yeah, Churchy has just began a lap, so I'll leave you to commentate that.
Here we go, Churchy. Through the first sector now. He's currently sitting in 8th position and makes his way through. Nicely done there. And we'll see what kind of time he can come up with through the first sector. And he's lost a little bit there. Just had to get on the brake a little bit early through that section there. And the very technical second sector is making his way through now. And he needs to find a lot of time here if he wants to move his way up 2/10 between him and Frosty, who's the next driver ahead. So we'll see. He's got the DRS open down the straight here, and this is going to be crucial to see if he can get ahead here. 4 minutes left in qualifying, and he makes his way through. Not bad, and he nails that. Yep, not bad. Keeps it in the track, and he has set a purple middle sector. So this could be interesting here if he's able to get through this final sector quickly. I'm not sure if it's going to be fast enough to crack into the top 5, but should be enough to bring him up the order as he takes on the final corner. And now the run to the line, and we'll see what he comes up with as the DRS opens. And he crossed the line with a 129.7, which moves him up to 7th place. Not bad at all from Churchy there.
Yeah, so impressive lap from him as J-Man. You do need to get to adding Noob. I sent you his EA so you could add him. He's not adding you.
Yeah, trying to. It's not really working at the moment.
Lovely. This game is just amazing. Um, we see the Alfa Romeo based on a lap here in the Alfa Romeo heading down, what is it, the third straight of the lap, and he's had a little bit of a decent run through turn 10. Wasn't too fast as he gets a little bit of understeer through 11 and now flat out all the way through 12. And he runs wide, goes purple in sector 2 though, by somehow, and he's only a couple of milliseconds up on his lap time, so I don't think we'll see too much improvement as he heads around the final corner. On the throttle, he stabs it, and the car lives with it just about, and what's he going to do? It's going to be a 1 minute 30.1, putting in P13, so not great, but it's still an improvement, as I'll go to... who do I want to go to? Well, I watch Vipermon here on his outlap. He's getting ready to set another one. J-Man, what's your EA ID? I'll try to get him to add you.
It's the same as my PlayStation.
As Vipermon now beginning his lap here in the Williams, flying down the back straight, and he has the entire lap ahead of him through turn 1, hits the apex nicely, cuts it back to the right to get a good line through the left of turn 2, and then a quick little flick through into the straight up to turn 3, braking very, very late there. He still hits the apex in that Williams, running out very wide. Gordo on his outlap will need to move out of the way soon enough, as, Gordo has just completely blocked him. So that could be a penalty coming his way. Oh no, it wasn't Gordo, it was Cozzy. So that could be a penalty coming his way. J-Man, Noob sent you a friend request.
Yeah, got it.
So I'll actually move to Rapid Mickey, who looks to be about to begin his lap as he's rounding the final corner to begin his final run in qualifying in the Silver Arrow, opening up the DRS, a long run down the straight he goes, and hot lap enabled into turn 1, hard on the anchors, and then he just hits a bit of an early apex. It gives him quite a lot of understeer, and then uses a lot of the track on the left-hand side. That's what you got to do around here at Bahrain. You got to maximize the mere milliseconds, and it will pay off in your regard as through turn 3, tap the apex, smooth on the throttle, and now the high-speed chicane S. He's 2/10 up on his current lap time. To the right, to the left, the car just sticking with him, maybe running a bit of a lower downforce setup here for Bahrain compared to the other drivers, as he is looking to get quite a bit of understeer right now. Smooth on the exit now, down the hill, turn 10, the constant left is the opposite of what you want when you're braking an F1 car, but it is one of the tricky challenges of this track, as Melbourne Mac is out, so is Phoenix. Both retired on track. As now in turn 11, flick the steering wheel left. He misses the apex just a little bit, but uses it to maximize his exit. And now through turn 12, flat out, using all of the track on the left-hand side through 13. He's purple in sector 2. Smooth on the exit. Once again, he hasn't made any falters here on any exit, as we see many drivers do in Bahrain, rounding the final corner, braking at about 75 to 70 meters, and then the run to the line, opening the DRS now in the Mercedes. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 29.0, putting in P2.
Fantastic lap there. Gordo still hanging on that pole position for the moment, as Churchy now coming to the line to finish. He is pitting, not going to improve. Gordo will cross the line. Can he go even further ahead? Of course he can. He has absolutely smashed it with a 1:28.3. That is the incredible pace that's been set by Gordo. And Vipermon is finishing off as well. And he'll remain in third despite improving. And that will be it for qualifying, with Gordo, Mickey and Vipermon being the top 3.
Holy moly. I mean, that was one hell of a lap. I probably should have watched it, but I was watching Mickey, and Noob is asking for one more invite, J-Man. just because he's an idiot and he accidentally pressed decline instead of accept.
Yep. I can't do it right now.
Yeah, obviously because we're in this menu.
Oh, he's in.
As, yeah, Gordo getting pole by 7/10. And, a lot of drivers are not happy right now. Because they think he should be Div 1 now because of that lap time. But
That
it is only
incredible.
qualifying. And there is still the race to go, and obviously he could just be running a full qualifying setup, or he's just a Bahrain merchant. You got to give him more than one race chance, as you have the front row of the grid being Gordo and Rapid Mickey, and we'll get underway for the race shortly.
If the previous Div 2 race here has anything to go by, this is going to be absolute carnage.
Yeah, well, it will be interesting to see. Obviously, Imanub is going to be working his way through from the back.
I can't wait to watch that. I am going to be glued to my seat watching him try and come back in this race. And I definitely think he can do it. He's just takes advantage of his opportunities, really.
Yeah, but obviously, as I said, he has to run no assists for today, as a guy in chat is very thrilled to hear you commentating, I must say. He said in full caps, J-Man is commentating, Matt TK.
Matt TK. Thanks, mate. Love you. I'll be sure to...
as we are underway, I thought there was formation lap on because DX1 told me he mucked up the lobby settings before, but I guess not. Gordo gets a good start into turn 1. There's like 5 abreast up the back there. They're 5 wide into turn 1. There's an M plate flying, but they've gotten through turn 1 relatively cleanly. Mr. Frosty has to cut the track. SNF Wolf gets through and nearly side swipes Mr. Frosty off the track. There's still 3 wide coming into turn 3. The McLaren, Aston Martin and Williams having a good little scrap through turn 3. The McLaren and Red Bull still having a good fight as they enter the high-speed S section. Nobody wants to go side-by-side through here. We see a car spurting off the track to the left. There's carnage up at the back here. They're side-by-side into the hairpin. The Red Bull and the Alpine are still going side-by-side as they go into turn 10.
Imanub
already up into P11, but there's a pile-up.
Oh, massive crash! Oh my goodness, what has happened here? And it seems Wolf has been spun around, dead heat as well, and that's a safety car, virtual safety car. Unbelievable, dead heat. And Zonix and Sandy, I think, were all involved in that incident. There's a few 5-second penalties being handed out as well. That is, I'm not exactly sure the cause of that incident, but it was just a massive hold-up there at turn 10.
I think what happened was there was a little bit of a bump on someone's rear at turn 10, and then it put them on the curb, it beached them, spun them around, and then obviously single file through there, so it caused a pile-up. But talk about the golden goose. Imanub got his way through that, got up to P10, and has no damage.
It's Lightning McQueen-like, to be honest. It's just flying through the field, through the carnage, and Churchy's into the pits, so must have damage of some sort there. And so does Melbourne Mac. In fact, I'm pretty sure most of the back of the field here will be coming to the pits. Yep, that'll be 7 out of the 20 drivers. And we're back underway for the race now, so they're going to lose out big time here.
Yes, there's a good little...
another yellow. And Phoenix is retired there. And I'm not sure what's happened.
I think he spun. It wasn't contact. I do think he spun, as there's a massive battle going on track here between Not Kizzy and Vipermon. They've been fighting side by side. And now Vipermon's starting to get a gap going as the McLaren of DXmon getting to the back of the AlphaTauri. I'm pretty sure Not Kizzy did pretty well last week, so he'll be looking to continue his form. But I guess we'll have to see. There's still 27 laps to go in this race, and a lot of drivers to still come through the field, including Imanub, who's now up to P8 after Phoenix's DNF, and he is just flying out here.
Well, we're in the unique position here where there's pretty much 2 races going on. One at the back of the field with everyone that's got damage, and now at the front as well. And we've got our first DNF. Obviously, Zonix has a drive-through, so he hasn't been able to get rid of that yet. And lap 2, already lots of stuff going on as Kizzy is closing in on Vipermon, and DXman's actually very close behind as well. Thought about a move, thought better of it in the end though. I'm a Nubatron up 13 places now into 7th, and the Golden Goose strikes again here today. It's absolutely fantastic to see. And he's at the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, he is absolutely flying on track, even though he had to fight Milan during the course of that lap as well, as this is a nice little three-way fight from P4 to P6. It'll be interesting to see how it goes as DRS is enabled this lap, and that should spice up this race just a little bit more and make it even easier for overtakes to occur, as Imanu will now be looking to close in on that three-way fight and see if he can bring Milan with him, and that will then become a massive fight for P5.
Oh, Vipermon's gone off. He's beached on the curb. He's spun off the track. I just caught that at DXman as well. I'm not sure if that was... Oh my goodness! No. Oh, DXman has dangerously entered the track, and Dilly Boy, oh, he was an innocent bystander to that, and he has just caused... Oh no, I can't believe what's happened there. The Mercedes could not do anything about that. Completely DXman's fault. Wasn't looking as he re-entered, and that is a major incident, and he's got a drive-through for speeding under the safety car as well.
Not a smart move from DXmon. That will be a massive incident report to come, I can imagine, and that will be a hefty penalty for the McLaren driver. As Vipermon, I don't know if he actually might have made contact with DXmon because the way they spun so close together, but that brings Imanoob up into P5, and that obviously with the safety car brings him back in to Gordo's vicinity and Rapid Mickey's vicinity, and he can at least fight for a podium here in this race.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, how does he do it every single time? It's unbelievable.
It's just him and ORL.
Vipermon, he lost it by himself. He got stuck on the curb. I was watching from, I believe it might have been Kizzy behind him. So I'm not sure if he caught DXman on the way through. But, yeah, we'll have to have a look at that again as he gets his wing changed. But he'll still have a drive-through to serve, so he's going to be right at the back of the field now.
Yeah, and that also doesn't allow Zonix to serve his drive-through, as you can't serve drive-throughs under yellow flags, but I think that is big for the drivers that had no wings and had to replace them on lap 1, as that brings them straight back into it and effectively neutralises the race back to lap 1, but with just 2 DNFs.
Yeah, so Wolf will be pretty happy that with that safety car, having lost 13 places, gives him a little bit of a chance to come back. Vipermon as well. In fact, as soon as I say it, he's left the session. But Vipermon's down 6 in this race after that spin, so he'll be hoping to push right back up the order. And this is looking costly for the championship leader at the moment, and he's going to need he's got a lot of work to do to bring his way back up into those high point scoring positions.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see out of the 2 Golden Gooses who will be the biggest Golden Goose, but I can say it's probably that Alpine sitting in P5. He'd be very happy with himself.
Yeah, and looking down the order, Melbourne Mac has he's been a little bit off the pace so far, but 11th place, wouldn't mind being in that position. It's a lot of mistakes get made throughout the race, and generally all you have to do is avoid any incident and you'll get at least some decent points. So that's probably what Melbourne Mac's looking to do at the moment.
Yeah, just pick up the points and make sure to get at least a little bit through the field. But right now, sitting in P11, at least if he wants to get any points, just needs to make up 1 position, as Mickey just baited diving into the pits to see if anyone would go in. But I think at this point, nobody will come in, as you just dropped basically plumb last if you pitted.
Yeah,
and I just want to mention, again, AlphaTauri's having a very, very nice race, but again, they're always glued together, P3 and P4 on track. I think it was last week that they were also sitting P3 and P4, and they fought each other consistently, like very, very consistently every race, I think.
Yeah, in Canada as well, they've always been in sort of those edge of podium positions, the AlphaTauris. They've never really been in a race-winning position. They're not quite quick enough for the lead, but they've been very competitive. And Gordo's looking very comfortable up front, avoiding all incident so far. And it's been impressive from him, with an incredible qualifying lap as well. Mickey will be looking to strike from behind, but it's going to be a massive task for him.
Yeah, so I think we have an interesting race ahead of us as Sandy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As we still have 18 drivers left in this race, who's your pick for the win?
Well, I think, as much as I'd like to see a bit of an upset, I think Gordo is just looking so good out front at the moment that I don't see anyone really getting past unless there's a bit of luck that goes on Maneuvertron's way, who's looking very quick. And you can't really put it past him to make an incredible comeback from last to first. I don't think anyone's done that so far in ORL, so that would be a sight to behold if it does happen.
Yeah, as Dilly has just came in chat and is saying, why did DXmond have to pull out in front of me? And I think nobody knows, he just did. Obviously didn't check the mini-map and just pulled onto the track like no one was there. And yeah, it's just unfortunate as Mr. Sparks has just taken out the marker board on the left-hand side, went off the track.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much debating about whose fault that incident was. I think it's just a matter of how harsh the penalty will be.
Gordo doing some very aggressive weaving. Nearly hit the wall while he was weaving, went all the way to the right, and then all the way to the grass.
Yep, and we're into our third lap of the safety car, and we still have 3 cars that haven't caught it yet, so just shows how the severity of the damage that has caused all the cars to drop so far back, which is it's fortunate none of them have been lapped yet.
Yeah, I think at the pace Gordo has and the pace other drivers have on track like Mickey and Imanoob there, we could actually see some blue flags today, but not on lap 6.
Mac got a 5-second penalty as well for hitting Churchy under safety car. Just a bit unfortunate there.
I'm actually going to look at the tyres here. As Melbourne Mac on the sauce, 4-lap-old sauce. That was definitely a gamble and a half, and obviously those tyres won't make it anywhere, especially at Bahrain. Tyre wear is quite hefty. But most drivers on the mediums, and then you just have DXmond and it's Sandy on the hards.
Yeah, it should be interesting this race start. We'll see if Mickey can give any challenge to Gordo up front. But it should be coming in this lap, so I think we are about to find out what's going to happen on the race start here. It might, hopefully we avoid chaos, but it always seems to happen in Div 2.
As Cozzy saying in chat, he doesn't think he touched. I'm pretty sure it's Melbourne Matt Cozzy, not the Cozzy down in P17. He's saying he didn't touch the car in front, and so he probably will get the penalty removed. But for the moment he has it, and I guess it'll come into play for the race on track. But now we're going to move to the safety car restart. I'll let you take it away, J-Man.
Alright, so Gordo setting the pace for us to start lap 7. He's been dominant all day so far, and he will take us underway as he takes off and gets oh, Mickey's right up to the back of him. Did he pass him legally? Was it over the line? It looks like it was, and he gets straight into the lead. Gordo caught napping off the start there. That is unbelievable. As Zonix is disqualified for avoiding the drive-through, he had to pit while the safety car was coming in there. He didn't. And now Mickey is in the lead of the race, but Gordo's right on his back. Can he get past here? Having a look down the inside, no around the outside. Good defending from Mickey as Gordo almost hits the back of him. He's got a lot of pace here, Gordo. He just got jumped at the restart. He'll be disappointed with that. And now we'll see if Mickey is going to defend for dear life here. Gordo doesn't have DRS yet as we make our way through Sector 2. Can Gordo find his way through? This is incredible. What a move from Mickey to get past. And we'll see if Gordo can make his way through on the next straight here.
Yeah, as Milan nearly made the move on Imanoob there into the hairpin too. He had a bit of an oversteer moment, did Imanoob, and it just entered Milan in, but it didn't quite happen as it's Sandy dropping down the field a little bit. So did Churchy, obviously. This is Churchy's last race with Aston Martin. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that yet, as round 4 isn't over.
Oh, Gordo nearly spun. There's a DNF. Kizzy's out. That is a huge. And Milan has been hit by. I'm not sure who that was. It was Williams, I think, of Dead Heat. They have contact as well, and Wolf has retired. I'm not sure how that incident's happened, but Kizzy and Wolf, 2 contenders, are out of the race, and Dead Heat and Milan have big damage, and we have another safety car.
Yeah, I just looked at the 2 drivers, and they were both stranded on opposite sides of turn 12, and
now they're all coming into the pits here. Everyone is in the pits. Firestrike inherits the lead, Beast in second, and the order's completely flipped now as Churchy moves up into third as well. Mickey is going to come out of the pits in what position? I think 5th at the moment. Gordo just behind, as I think it was Milan that got a speeding in the pit lane penalty there. And now we've got, this is a very interesting dynamic. We've got 4 cars up front on older tyres that the leaders are going to have to manoeuvre through, and Maneuvertron is now in the net 3rd position of the race. He keeps sneaking up on us as the golden goose on Maneuvertron. It baffles you sometimes how he's able to do it, but he has come from 20th to a net 3rd.
Yeah, and then obviously Gordo had that massive snap, and that could have ended his race at the same corner as those other 2. And that would have been absolute devastation for him this early in the race, but he'll know now to be mindful of turn 12 and not to just try to take it easy flat on colder tyres.
I still can't believe that the safety car restart, Gordo just absolutely caught napping by Mickey there.
I think Mickey might have a lot of downforce. I pointed it out in qualifying. He seemed to be understeering everywhere. And I don't know, I'll take a look at the top speeds on the next restart, but Mickey just looked to be flying in a straight line.
Yeah, but I think it was Gordo, he just always, Frosty nearly whacks on Maneuvertron there. I think he took off at the wrong time. Mickey absolutely predicted perfectly when Gordo was going to take off and pulled out straight away. It was like Verstappen at Zandvoort last year at the restart. It was just straight off it didn't even get to the first corner. Mickey just all the way ahead. Gordo
and Mickey have just both put in chat at the same time. Mickey's running 26 wings, but Gordo's pedals disconnected on the restart.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Gordo and Mickey are actually running the exact same wings, so
that'll be frustrating for Gordo, but he has got plenty of time in this race, and we'll see how these cars that haven't pitted up front will change the dynamic of the race, as we only have 15 runners left on lap 9. Spin for Melbourne Mac as well. I'm not sure if that was contact related. It was. Milan hit him, and Melbourne Mac's been spun. That's a 5-second penalty for him, and Melbourne Mac, that will be frustrations brewing over there, and that seemed like a very silly accident out the back there.
Yeah, as I've actually just been told by Noob in chat, because he wasn't in qualifying, he had to use one of the default AI setups.
Oh, wow. So he's done well to be in 3rd position right now.
Yeah, it's low downforce though, so I assume he just adjusted the diff and the brake bias, and it's good enough for him.
And now Melbourne Mac goes from bad to worse, as he's got a drive through for being too far from the safety car. Oh no, that's not of any fault of his own, and that is very harsh.
And he will have to serve that though, otherwise he will get disqualified. It's not like he can take it to the stewards after and get it removed. He just has to serve it.
Yeah. A shame for Melbourne Mac. Through no fault of his own, the race has been pretty much destroyed for him at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's effectively race over unless there's another safety car. But he doesn't want to fall to the same fate as Zonix. Zonix couldn't serve his because the safety cars, they were stopping him from serving it, meaning when he crossed the line on the restart, it disqualified him. And obviously Melbourne Mac won't want another safety car too soon, otherwise he'll meet the same fate. But safety car is in this lap, and I'll let you take it away like I did with the last restart, J-Man.
Alright, well, whenever I seem to commentate these, it seems that everything is happening. Firestrike is our new leader, taking us away for into lap 10 in the Haas, followed closely by Beast in the Alfa Romeo. The leader's stuck a little bit further behind, but we are underway once again here once Firestrike goes, and he does now. Beast is right up to the back of him. Could this be similar to the last one? He's dropped back a little bit. That's a massive crash, and Mickey is out of the race, and Goro's down to 9th. Huge incident there, and Milan's in the pits. What just happened? And the race has been flipped again.
It was Firestrike. He hit the brakes.
Oh no. And now Churchy is looking to take the lead of the race. Is wheel to wheel with Firestrike. Can he get in front? No, Firestrike just stays ahead. But we'll see what's to come of that incident as the Alfa Romeos are now back in this race as well. Firestrike's gone off the track, and Churchy now trying to make his way through. Can't quite, just pulls out of that one. And Sandy's right on Churchy's back as well.
And Mr. Frosty has no wing.
Unbelievable stuff here. And Frosty goes down the inside of Spark and made a little bit of contact there, wheel to wheel. The Red Bull and the Alpha Tauri. Frosty just ahead of Spark there. And Spark pushing him through that corner there as Vipermon is trying to get in on the action as well. More chaos going on here. I don't know how to describe it.
Yes, I'm a noob up the back of XX Beast here and Sandy, but he's just struggling a little bit with that AI setup. You can see him lifting and lifting and lifting, but it will just be very interesting to see what he can do with it. And Mr. Sparks is also getting to the back of I'm a noob, be looking to gain positions once again. But I can give you a bit more detail on that restart. Beast was on the back of him, and Mr. Firestrike looked like he'd gone, but he hit the brakes again, and it made the field about 4 wide, and then Mr. Firestrike punched the throttle again, and it forced a bunch of cars to go 3 wide, and I think there was a bit of confusion and some contact, and I saw it on the camera. Mickey just spearheaded straight into the wall. I'm sure there'll be some memes made about that one.
Not the first time we've had drama at a safety car restart in Bahrain, in Div 2. It cast our minds back to Dools Daniel and the boy Luke in Season 1 and a massive crash. But now I'm a Nubatron is in the net lead of the race. I can't believe I'm saying it. Even though we predicted that something like this may happen, he has gone from 20th. And once these cars in front pit, he will be in the lead. As Gordo is now down to second last of the field without penalties, and Melbourne Mac has gotten rid of his penalties as well, so he's back in the race too.
I believe has no right end plate.
Does he not? Oh, he's going to he might pass 2 cars in the one straight here though. Here he goes on the Alfa Romeos. Down the inside, I'm an Ubertron as he got through, and spin for Sandy, and he's hit Spark, and Spark's out! Incredible! What has happened there? A spin for the Alfa Romeo, and Spark had no way to get out of that, and that is another DNF. It's just carnage out here, and that was probably no fault of anyone. It was just an unfortunate spin there. But Spark's out of the race, and another position made up for I'm an Ubertron there.
Yeah, but I'm a noob. He has low downforce already, so I know he'll be feeling the damage, and I don't know if he'll be able to catch those top 2, but I'm sure they'll need to pit as they are on mediums, and they won't make the end from that restart. So I'm a noob is effectively P1, but has some damage, so Beast may be able to pressure him.
Yeah, so I think Beast still needs to pit as well, though, so I think his next challenger is Vipermon, who has come back very nicely in this race. We're down to 13 runners. Somehow didn't get a safety car there as someone's going slow in Sector 3. I think it's Melbourne Mac. Not sure what's happened
Mr.
there.
Frosty.
No, sorry, Mr. Frosty.
As Mr. Sparks has lagged out of the... Oh, wait, no, he'd be in it.
He's retired. And Milan gets past Frosty. Frosty's trying to send one back up the inside. And the Alfa Romeo is just in front. This is a good 3-car battle here between these. Frosty gets past Milan. Can he get past the Alfa as well? Sandy not moving too quickly. Oh, no! And Milan tried to sneak his way through. He does in the end, but he just had no regard for Frosty at all. Did not see him on his right. That is
much like the hairpin incident we saw at Canada.
That is very subpar driving, but I can't believe he just completely forgot that he was there on his right, and he thought about the car in front, and Frosty gets absolutely body slammed into the wall. I'm shocked that he's still running at the moment.
J-Man, how are you thinking about your new full-time driver for after this round?
This is fantastic, mate.
Just putting
Church is
people in walls.
probably going to win the race as well.
Yeah, you've just dropped Churchy as Gordo's made a mistake and is dropping down the field. I think this is absolutely hilarious because you've just dropped.
Div 2.
Yeah, you've just dropped Churchy out of his seat. By the way, I'm signing him, and then.
Oh, he's still driving for me, so I get Vibamon and Peace going wheel to wheel in the meantime. And Churchy gets a 3-second penalty just as we're talking about him. That's fine if he's driving for me at the moment, but hopefully when he drives for you, he'll be a little bit worse. No,
yeah,
sorry,
well,
Churchy.
your driver currently likes to put people in walls, so good luck with that one.
And he's going again with Sandy here as Milan, as we're talking about that. We're almost at half race distance here, as Sandy is out of energy, so Milan will he just send one up the inside? I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Taps the back of Sandy and is all over him at the moment as we make our way through Sector 2. Sandy very slow through there. Can Milan, I'm not sure if he has damage or not, get past here. He doesn't have damage by the looks of it, as Gordo now joining in the party out the back as Milan goes off the track. This could be interesting. Gordo the inside of Milan. Will he get through? Milan forced onto the curb. They get through alright. Nice pass from Gordo there. And he's done pretty well there, Gordo. He's got 10 more places to make up to get back to his original position. Fire Strike comes into the pits.
Yeah, and now I'm a Noob is up into P2, but Churchy running P1 will also have to pit. And that will put I'm a Noob in P1, but Vipermon, the other Golden Goose, is now here, so it's now the battle of the Golden Gooses.
Breathing down his neck. It's great to see. Can I'm a Noobitron hold Vipermon back? He is closing right up to the back of him, 7/10 behind. I'm a Noobitron. He has almost completed the journey to first place, and it's been unbelievable. If he can win this race from here with no setup, starting 20th, it will be surely the greatest performance we've ever seen in this league, as he's getting quite close to Churchy as well. He's got the fresher tyres. Churchy's tyres will be really struggling right now, and we'll see if I'm a Noobitron with the DRS helping can get through here, as Churchy has now run out of energy as well, defending from him. Not on this straight. If Churchy does go off the track here, so I'm a Noobitron still let in an opportunity here.
Yeah, also the battery difference, I'm a Noob has about 40%, and Churchy is practically out, as I'm a Noob's damage is definitely hurting him a lot here. I just can't quite commit to a move, and that will make this fight for P1 between I'm a Noob and Vipermon ever more interesting, as also XX Beast will be in the Alfa Romeo provisional P3, and now Churchy dives in, and the fight for P1 is now on.
So Vipermon is a little bit further back, and just casting our minds back to the previous Bahrain Div 2 race, Icy and Rhino and I'm a Noobitron right at the finish line. If you remember, I think it was Icy and Rhino that blocked I'm a Noobitron from getting through. One of the best finishes you will ever see, and we'll see if something like that can be repeated. But I'm a Noobitron on the winning side, as Beaston has pitted as well into 7th position. And will these tyres... Yeah.
You can see the downforce loss from Noob is massive through that S section. Vipermon nearly pulled alongside, but I think Noob is literally relying on his battery and his straight line speed to make sure Vipermon cannot overtake him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if these hard tyres, how well they'll last, because they've got 14 laps to go. Can I'm a Noobitron and Vipermon nurse these tyres 21 laps?
I think they can, but I think the bigger question is, what's Dead Heat doing with those softs in P3?
Yeah, it's an interesting call. He must not have many tyres left to go on if he's already on the softs this early. As Vipermon getting really close to I'm a Noobitron here, and just doesn't have the speed to get past. He has a lot of battery. I think he's saving it for the straight here, and I think this is going to be... I'm a Noobitron cannot avoid this. He gets past even almost before the DRS, and Vipermon now back into the lead of this race after that spin earlier on. And I'm a Noobitron, he had gained 19 places. It's only 18 now as he comes into 2nd place.
Yeah, I think Amanoob just won't be able to fight this. His damage may be too much to overcome, but still, what an amazing drive as Vipermon and Amanoob both proving their Golden Goose status to be retained. And it may even still be an interesting fight. Amanoob, I don't think he'll be able to keep the pace, but I think it's who can manage their tyres better. If Vipermon makes a mistake with his tyre management and has pushed this a little bit too hard, there could still be a fight to behold.
Milan finally got past Sandy there into turn 1. But Sandy has got an extremely good exit as Churchy also is wheel to wheel with Cozzy. Churchy gets past as Cozzy goes wide there. Nice move. And Sandy right up the back of Milan as well. It's Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin fighting it out here. And Milan just stays ahead there.
Yeah, good little scrap going on here. I think Milan will try stretch a little bit of a gap now. I think he has the pace. But I think the fight for P1 would have been a lot more interesting had Amanoob not gotten damage, and also had qualifying, like Amanoob being able to set a qualifying lap, as Dead Heat getting very close to the back of Amanoob too, but then the next car is 12 seconds back, as now Dead Heat drops in, so the top two are effectively guaranteed to get top 2 unless there's a safety car, and if there is a safety car, that brings Amanoob straight back into it because he'll be able to replace his front wing, and I don't think he'll lose any positions.
He will not. There's even if he pits now, he'll probably only lose 2 positions here, and DXman has gotten right back into this race. He had a drive-through earlier on, but now he's in 3rd position with no penalties, so very impressive comeback from him there as Amanoobatron is starting to fall away.
As Dead Heat exiting the pit lane is nearly going to go side by side with Melbourne Mac, and now on the fresh tyres, can he pull away? But he has to warm those tyres up first, as Melbourne Mac getting quite close to the back of him heading into turn 3. Will he be able to have a go? No, he dummies the right, but isn't quite close enough, hits the brakes, and he's nearly rear-ended Dead Heat. Dead Heat still holding P4 after his pit stop, as it will be very, very close while the tyre warm-up period is affecting Dead Heat.
Oh, no,
Melbourne Mac spun off to the left. The curb claiming another victim. Don't rejoin like DXmon did. He nearly has. Oh, God. Because he had just held a little bit more speed, as the 2 Ferraris make a little bit of contact here, as they're side by side into turn 10. Gordo gets another move going into turn 10, much like he did earlier with Milan, and now he's going to be all over the back of Melbourne Mac. Will he be able to get the move done with the DRS? I don't think he will, just because he's out of battery, but still, he's gaining. He looked around the outside. Melbourne Mac shut the door, though. Gordo cutting the inside of the corner just a little bit, as he's all the way over the back of Melbourne Mac through turn 12. The dirty air will affect Gordo just that little bit, but those medium tyres look to be very, very strong in the hands of Gordo in that Ferrari. Will he be able to get the position down the main back straight? I guess we'll have to see, but for now it's all about getting that good exit around the final corner.
Gordo has absolutely no energy left. He's put absolutely everything into this move. Can he get it down the inside here? He'll have the DRS advantage. Melbourne Mac in there wheel to wheel here. Melbourne Mac has more energy. Gordo's out. Can Gordo's DRS push him through? He has to tuck in behind, get the slipstream, come back out, and now into turn 1. Can Gordo get through? He's broken a little bit late. And Melbourne Mac's been touched by Cozzy, and he's been spun. Can you believe it? He's spun twice in 2 laps now. Unbelievable stuff, and Gordo gets the place, and Melbourne Mac, his horror luck continues in this race. Could it get any worse for him right now?
Yeah, now Gordo on the chase for Churchy, but yeah, just terrible luck from Melbourne Mac. I assume he'll have a couple of stewards tickets to submit, and I think the stewards room with 7 DNS will be just quite busy in general tonight, but also Amanoob getting quite close. I mean, not close, losing a lot of time to Vipermon, and DXmon is gaining.
And Gordo's making his way up the field. I think Cozzy's done Gordo a huge favour there by spinning Melbourne Mac out. Bit of teamwork has been done there.
Yeah, I think Melbourne Mac will be screaming across the house though, as they are brothers, Melbourne Mac and Cozzy. So there'll be a bit of tension in the household.
Melbourne Mac will be absolutely livid with that, as 10 laps to go. Melbourne Mac now out of the points positions. And there's still going to be lots and lots of penalties handed out after this race, so we have no real idea what the actual order could be at the end of the race, with all those penalties still to be given. But one person who hasn't got any incidents is I'm an Ubertron in second, who is now 4 seconds back and sort of just trundling along at the moment. And probably content with second unless there's some late drama in the race as Cozzy now pits. No, sorry, Sandy now pits, and as Cozzy's closing up on Milan as well.
Yeah, but will Imanu be able to retain his P2? Because at the rate he's losing time to DXmon, this could be very, very close, actually.
Yep, and Churchy having a look at Beast there. Little battle between Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin again. They've been joint at the hip, these two teams, this race. My team and your team, Lindsay, is Gordo closing up behind as well. He'll be starting to get interested in this battle, as well as Churchy has the DRS and can't quite get past on this occasion, but he'll be looking to get through at turn 1, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, as long as our teams aren't fighting at Japan, I'm pretty happy.
And Churchy gets a penalty there that could be costly. He already has a corner cutting penalty, I believe. Sorry, track limits penalty. As he closes right up to the back of Beast, he's going to have a go in the last corner. No, he'll just wait patiently for the DRS assistance that he'll get. Not a great exit from Beast, and this should be an easy move for Gordo, for Churchy here. And strong defense from Beast, but it's not enough. Churchy has the pace and flies past the Alpha.
Yeah, very strong performance from Churchy, just making his way back through, making me ever the more happy for next race when he becomes my driver. But I think it's still a strong result from Beast here, as he's had a bit of it's a mixed bag race. He's had some really strong parts where he's been closer to the front. Now he's dropping back a little bit, but he's still running up in P7, so still not a bad result from him, considering he has no penalties, as I just ate my own words. And he rear-ended Churchy and now has damage. And now Gordo...
now right on him.
Yeah, he's right there. As Churchy, good car control there after that contact to be able to catch it and not spin out.
Now Gordo has the DRS, but so does Beast. Can Gordo get through on this occasion? Not quite. He's going to switch back, though. That's a fantastic move from Gordo. Great dummy there, and he's straight up into 7th. He doesn't have a lot of time left, but he is going to be doing everything in these last 8 laps to make up as many positions as possible here. Yes. And he should be within DRS range of Churchy now as well.
Yeah, but I think the battle I'm looking at on track right now is between Cozzy and Milan. 7 tenths separating them. And that was previously 6 tenths, so we might see a little bit of a fight here, but Cozzy is on 0% battery, so maybe not, as Milan has about 25%.
Yep, and pretty spread out now, the top 4 of this race, as DXman's slowly but surely gaining on I'm an Ubertron, but he's on 14 lap old medium, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to chase him down before the end of the race at this point.
Yeah, not quite. I think Imanu picking up the pace a little bit as Gordo's just completely rear-ended Churchy, and he's let Churchy keep the position, but that brings Beast straight back to him. Gordo didn't pick up any damage, luckily, but that was a bit of a poor racecraft moment for Gordo, but he was the sportsman that let Churchy keep the position, and now they've just lost tons of time to P5, where Gordo could have attacked him.
Yep, so Gordo will not be happy with that. Very unfortunate mistake for him. Bit of frustration might be creeping in. He's desperate to get past, but that's a little bit unfortunate. Just a bit of frustration kicking in there, and he'll have to pass him again, which I think shouldn't be too much of a problem for him at this stage.
Yeah, not too bad of a race for Gordo considering where he was, but I still think quite a poor race overall for Ferrari. I guess we'll have to see, but I think Gordo can still get top 6, which, well, he technically is still top 6, but it will be close. No, Gordo's coming into the pits. I think he did pick up damage with the contact.
I'll see if I can see anything on his car.
Yeah,
no, I can't quite.
No visible damage. That's why I said I don't think he got front wing damage, but he is replacing his front wing, so he must have picked up some form of front wing damage.
Yep, so, and he's going to used hards as well, which is interesting. So Gordo will
As
be...
Milan going down the inside, sorry to cut you off. Oh! He has a massive snap. He pulled out so aggressively in the DRS. He's side by side with Beast. They're still side by side, heading into the S section. Beast still holding on. Milan still up the inside. He's going to get the move through the left. They're still side by side. XX Beast maybe looking for a move back into the hairpin. No, he backs out of it. But Milan risking his life
That's
again.
a bit better.
He pulled to the right down the straight and he went sideways into the corner, just about pulled alongside, and then they had that fight through the S, but that was a bit cleaner than his previous moves, but he nearly spun XX Beast into the S section.
Yep, so big penalties for Milan as well, 10 seconds, so I don't think... Well, he's currently P10 accounting penalties. Six
the X-Mon's in the
laps remain in the race as well. That's, yeah, I told you, his mediums were not going to be able to last to the end. He must be near puncture territory if he's pitting.
Yeah, and that practically guarantees I'm a new P2, but double podium for Alpine as it stands.
It's been a fantastic race for them so far. We'll see if they can hang on to the end, but there's always the possibility of some late excitement in Div 2 as Beast comes into the pits as well, might have picked up some damage.
Ooh, Churchy and DX1 very, very close to each other on the exit for DX1 coming out of the pits, but he did get jumped. As now DX1 will want to close up to the back of Churchy, but the fight, I can't really tell if there's any good fights going on track right now. The closest one is DX1 and Churchy. DX1 gaining quite rapidly with those softs, obviously. Even when they're cold, they are very fast compared to some old hard tyres on the back of that Aston Martin. And DX1 doesn't even need to get him on track because Churchy has such a big penalty as 6 seconds. As now DX1 opening up the DRS, won't go for it down this straight, not quite close enough. You have to be very close if you want to use the DRS to your advantage on that straight. But DX1 will be gaining. Yeah, this is the only battle on track right now. Ooh, DX1 getting very, very close to the back of Churchy, and he runs out a little bit wide. That will be track limits warning for him.
And Amanovatron is pitting.
Oh.
So he's got his wing replaced. He's lost a position to his teammate, obviously banking on something happening late. He's lost position to Firestrike as well, so he must be banking on a late safety car or something as DXman and Churchy are going wheel to wheel here into turn 1. And Amanovatron just out the back there having a look. And DXman gets ahead of Churchy, but can Churchy fight back with the DRS? DXman out of overtake. Churchy coming back around the outside. Who's going to win out here? Churchy tries to stick it around the outside. Can he hold it? And DXman just pushes him off. And fantastic move as Gordo's retired. Is that a safety car? He's hit the pit wall. It is a safety car.
Noob is pitted at the worst time humanly possible.
I can't help but think that was intentional from Gordo.
Yeah, I can't help but think that was intentional either. That helps Simon Noob, but also hurts him. It's a mixed bag.
He's on the newest tyres. He's got 2 cars ahead with penalties. DXman is probably now in the prime position to win. No, Vipermod will hold the lead from this pit stop, so...
I think I'm a noob. This brings him into the win contention, but it's just the fact that now he'll have to make overtakes unless Churchy boxes and Mr. Firestrike boxes. He'll have to make some overtakes, and also if he pitted this lap, he would not have dropped past P3.
I think they're all going to pit here. Dead Heat. It would be wise for him to pit, and he does. Firestrike should pit also. And those 10-lap-old hards will not help him in this situation. I think Churchy, Milan, I think they're all going to pit. It would only make the most sense. But it does tighten the field up with 4 laps to go.
So
a bit of controversy there. Churchy stayed out, interestingly enough, into 3rd position. I'm not sure how long he's going to hold that for. Amanovatron does get back up into 4th place, so not in the worst position in the world right now.
I think
yeah.
Churchy will hurt him though. So Viperman will probably drop back. He's on slots. When did he pit?
Nah, he came in.
Oh yeah, he did come in, he just has such a big gap. So I think Imanoob will have the pace to bring it to Vipermon, but it's whether he'll be able to dispose of Churchy very quickly, because Churchy has been known in previous races to defend for his life, even when he probably shouldn't, and this could be one of those cases here for him.
I don't think Imanoobatron is going to have too much trouble getting past Churchy in this situation.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
just getting past the X-Mond.
the X-Men's on slightly more used softs. It's not going to make a major difference, but it could. It's a slight advantage to Imanoobatron, and also probably means Vipermon, if he gets a good getaway, should be able to race off into the sunset and win this race.
Yeah, but Imanoob is in a prime position to take back P2 at minimum. Still a very strong race for Alpine. P4 and P5 right now, and should make themselves back the way to P2 and P3, or at least P2 and P4. So this will be interesting, as safety car won't be in this lap. It's a very small train at the safety car right now. The field was very spread out, and this finally gives a little more than one battle on track to commentate, so that should be very, very nice. There's only 12 finishers in this race out of 20. We had a full grid for the first time, and just proving to be absolute carnage.
Yep, so there'll be probably one more lap of safety car here. Just looking down the field, I think Dead Heat's probably the lowest place competitor still who has a chance of winning in this race. Cozzy and Melbourne Mac will gain a fair few positions with that, with the lack of penalties that he has. But as late safety cars go, the people that have picked up penalties throughout the race will lose out, and that's why you've got to try and avoid those throughout the race.
Yeah, obviously penalties becoming a big play here now, as you see, especially Churchy with 6 seconds, so Noob is already P3 technically. It's just getting past him on track will be the difficult part.
Yep, so Frosty's a fair way behind, so we'll see if the safety car comes in anyway. But there will be 3 laps remaining.
Well, I'm just watching. Oh! Well, Mickey, you know how he went flying into the pit lane before?
Gordo or Mickey? Oh, yeah, Mickey, yeah.
I'm watching his POV from his ticket, and as I said, there was a brake test, and then Mickey kind of nearly got shoved into the wall. He got damage anyway, and then Gordo spun and just T-boned him straight into the wall.
Wow. Yeah, that is... I'll have a look now. Wow, yep. So the Alpha's just absolutely just clipped him, and Gordo's finished off the job. It was almost like an assassination.
Yeah, not very nice. I imagine there'll be a couple more after the race. Oh, and Gordo has left the ORL Discord.
I'm not surprised. I think he would be probably getting a ban after that. But we continue the race with 3 laps to go. And pretty even pegging here, all to play for. We'll have one more lap of safety car, so it'll be 2 laps of racing that we'll have. And that will make it very interesting.
So, oh, there's an end plate flying at the back. It looked like an Alfa Romeo end plate. And it was.
Look,
it was
Sandy. So Sandy must have hit Milan
Gordo's
there.
having a go at you in chat.
About what?
Because you said he might be picking up a ban because of the T-bone, and he said you just wait to fucking see what happened.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be corrected, but you said he left, so I thought the worst, but that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really. MX said in chat that he left the Discord, and I couldn't see him in the server list either. So I don't exactly know how he's going to put in his POV.
Yeah, well, we shall see. But we still have a race to get on with here. We'll sort of out those details later.
Yep. And now we're going to move back to the race. So, Viper on P1, obviously so it'll be lap 28, so 2 laps of racing. This will be very tricky for Imanoob. I'm pretty sure this basically means Viper 1 will win the race. I don't think Imanoob will have the time, but I think he will get P2.
Oh, DXman, you never know, could pull off some brilliance, but Vipermon is looking at 4 consecutive wins to start the season, and one of the most dominant displays I have seen in Division 2. So safety car will be in, so we will find out.
Yeah, it can't stay out any longer. It requires at least 2 laps of racing. That's how the game works. As now Vipermon will become the pace setter, as there is a bit of it's a little bit glitchy while weaving, but I think it's just about ironed out now, and Vipermon controlling the field will get away. I think he's going to go for the late getaway, just make sure DXmon has as little slipstream as possible.
Alright, into
And
the
never
final
mind, he's
corner.
going.
He has guard straight away. No, slowed down. Another brake check. And now DXman's right alongside. Is this going to be just like earlier on? DXman is right up the back of Vipermon. Is he going to send it? It's the second last lap. What's he got to lose? He's going to have a go down the inside. Can he get it done? DXman, a little bit of contact. Vipermon just stays in front. Churchy getting interested at the back as well. DXman is still there though. Is he ahead? He's in front of Vipermon, but we're going into turn 4 here. Yellow flag out the back. Vipermon down the inside. DXman trying to hang it out. A little bit of contact. Vipermon gets a snap and DXman's in the lead. Churchy gets past Vipermon, so does Imanoobatron. Unbelievable racing here. Vipermon is losing places left and right at the moment. Massive there. Churchy up into second. Imanoobatron right all over the back of him as well. And Vipermon getting back past Dead Heat. No, not quite. And now Churchy's gone off Imanoobatron in a second. It's game on here for Imanoobatron. He's got 1 lap to chase down DXman. Or can DXman hang on for the win here?
What a restart here. Imanoobatron just needs to gain 2/10. He'll then be within DRS, and we know he has the low downforce AI setup, so it'll be just even easier to get the position and get the win. What a Golden Goose performance it would be.
He's catching you as well.
Yeah, and Vipermon are looking like he's going to lose his win streak here. Imanoob purple in Sector 2. He is gaining. It's looking more likely by the second he'll win. There's no DRS, but Imanoob's straight line speed with his battery may be able to clench him this win. I guess we'll have to see. But Deadly P3 provisionally as well. So this is very, very close on track here as XXB should drop down the points.
At the back. So Imanoobatron has 2 more straights to get past. He's 5/10 behind as we enter the final lap. DXman, can he hold his nerve here? The pressure is on in the background. Dead Head trying to get past Churchy. That won't matter too much in the end. Imanoobatron now just 4/10 behind DXman. DXman will be very nervous in that McLaren right now. He's going so slowly at the moment, just trying to keep it on track, prevent any mistakes as he goes through Sector 2. Imanoobatron lighting up the timing screens with purple sectors as we're down to 3/10 now. It's so close. It's just like last time for Imanoobatron. Will he come out on top as we head towards turn 10 now? He gets so close to DXman. Will he have the pace? He's got a little bit of energy left. He's going to use every bit of it down this straight. 2/10 the difference between the two of them. And there's another yellow flag at the back as DXman is now out of energy. Can he hang on now down to 2/10? It's so close at this moment. Who is going to hang on? Will it be DXman? Will it be Imanoobatron? Unbelievable racing here as we go down to the last back straight here. Another purple sector for Imanoobatron. It's a great exit for Imanoobatron. DXman, can he hang on? They're going to be so close here. It's going to be wheel to wheel into the final corner. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to switch back. Imanoobatron hits DXman, and that could be it. DXman could be home, and he is. DXman wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, followed by Imanoobatron. What a finish that was. Vipermon comes home in 3rd, Dead Heat 4th, and Milan 5th, or Cozzy 5th. Unbelievable finish. One of the best you'll see.
Yeah, but I think something to note, though, was the rejoin on track by DXmon earlier.
Yeah, we will see post-race, but at the moment, DXman has won the race for McLaren, and unbelievable. Imanoobatron, don't forget about him. He's come from 20th position to 2nd. What a restart that was. Incredible driving all round.
Yeah, Imanoob tried to switch back and got blocked off there. and just not quite coming out on top. But who knows? DXMond had the dangerous rejoin, so it could come to the steward's room later on tonight. We'll try to get the disputes out as soon as possible, but we do have Div 1 in about an hour, so that should hopefully also be a full grid, or as full as we can get, and hopefully it'll be just as exciting as what an absolute thriller Div 2 providing the entertainment once again. And
That was
GG to all
stunning
the
to
drivers
watch.
who finished the race. There was some good racecraft out there, but also some pretty poor racecraft up the back with the DNS. I think some of the DNS were just caused by solo mistakes, though. We'll have to see in the steward's room, but Gordo could have won that race, but just made some crucial mistakes, and I don't want to say baby rage, but I am going to say baby rage out of the ORL Discord. And
Well, that was a carbon copy to Bahrain Div 2 2 seasons ago. I'm a Nubatron, finished just behind Eyesight Rhino on that occasion. So I can't believe it's come down to the last corner 2 times in a row here at Bahrain.
yeah, I think if I'm a noob, I would have known the outside wasn't ever going to work because the switchback is so easily blockable, and I would have maybe tried to force that inside, but it might have resulted in an incident. I guess in his situation, it was the best outcome with the low risk of an incident, because he knew he had P2 in the bag and still potentially has P1 in the bag if Dilly Boy reports DXMon's dangerous re-entry. And that is all for Div 2 tonight. Your thoughts, J-Man?
Oh, that was probably one of the best races I've ever seen from Div 2. Full grid, there was action everywhere, and unbelievable finish. So I hope you were entertained if you're watching the stream this afternoon.
So yeah, Div 1 is in an hour. Don't miss out on it, and we'll see you guys for Div 1.